Welcome back to another episode in the park. I have not yet decided on a name, because I am recording this one right after the last, because I'm really in the mood just to build right now. So for this episode, I am planning to continue working on the entryway to the park here. Going to do some changes. I feel like add some more props. I'm going to expand the entrance over here, throw in uh, a barricade. Then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to add a nice viewing gallery right over this water. Not water, but like this area of land. Make this into a paddock. And I'm going to continue this path and start playing it out this way with having another path going that way. I have some ideas I've been planning in my head. Um, I have a nice raptor paddock idea for over here. And I believe I want to make this current paddock the two animals we get at the start of the campaign. I believe when I was doing my live stream on Twitch, I remember it being a Loki Ceratops. And I forget the second animal, but I also want to put it in a Apado, because I believe there were Apados on this map. I don't remember I got them through incubation or through the campaign. But however I got them, I'm going to add them in and make it a nice enclosure. So I'm going to start doing that. Um, yeah, like I said, if I come up with a name, I'll probably say it in the time lapse. But I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the time lapse. Time lapse voiceover time. This is still so weird to do. But basically, I'll throw the links for the blueprints in the description. But I just found this blueprint and I just started using these as the gates. Um, I've been really busy with school, so these videos might slow down a little bit. I don't want that to happen, but it might. I started recording this one like a week ago, right after the first video came up. Um, and this is still coming out a week later, so like it's not changed that much. But just in a span of working on it over the week, this has kind of fallen away from me. So that's just a little update. But when it comes to other content on this channel, holy hell, that FNAF video really blew up. And I really appreciate all the support if you're watching this video after seeing the FNAF one. There will be more FNAF videos coming. I have some interesting theory ideas I'm looking into. But as of next week, I am hoping that a Jurassic Park video comes out on Jurassic Park games. Just a fun little video I'm planning. It's already recorded. I just have to edit. So that would hopefully be next week, if not the week after. Um, but that's just if college doesn't get in the way. So in the speed build, you can saw me. I just finished up doing some rock decals. I put in the fence along the side, and now I'm just messing with some of the planters. I'm still not fully set on this entry plaza. I'm gonna have to like get some more inspiration and come back and work on it. But that's just a me thing. Um, I kind of wish we had some other decals that weren't just like all the banners that are just Jurassic Park and World, not just like dinosaur related, because they all relate to either World or Park, which is not a bad thing. I just kind of wish we had a more generic sign that we could use. Hopefully, a pack comes out that does give us that ability, and maybe some more like benches and stuff. Like these white wooden ones are pretty good. I love them a lot, but like just maybe a bit more of the variety. Um, but other than that, I'm loving this game still. It's been out for a little bit, and I'm having more fun just trying to, still get better at building, which is gonna be a struggle. I'm not used to this style of building in these games, But yeah, and then here I'm just putting in the ticket booths and things like that. I just took a look at my analytics and I see that the FNAF video just passed 1K views. And I don't know what to say. I'm really appreciative of that. When it comes to future things on this channel, I'm hoping to do more gameplay streams. I know I do a lot of streams with my friends, and we do like the FNAF Fridays every week, and we record FNAF videos, like just our gameplay and stuff, which is fun. But I'm planning to do other streams of like other video games that are more my speed, that aren't FNAF. I'm thinking to do like just some like maybe the Spider-Man Insomniac games in the future, along with the Telltale games, but that'll be the future. In the speed build, however, at this part, I was just trying to figure out how to do a rock wall. I wanted to do an archway here, because I thought I had one in this section of the park in my campaign. I ended up later on loading up the campaign world, and I saw that I didn't have it, so I decided to just not put a rock arch over that pathway. Plus, the map borders was getting in my way, so like I decided to give up. Over here, though, I really wanted to make a viewing gallery that seemed like it was in the rock wall itself. And then, um, over here, I'm just working on the road. I think at one point I lost some recording again, which really sucks that keeps happening. I'm gonna try and make sure it doesn't, but, you know, if it does, it's not intentional. But I'm gonna try and make sure it doesn't happen. So here I'm just working on expanding the sidewalks a bit, just doing some of that, and then throwing some rocks and some foliage over, trying to make it look more organic and natural before moving on to some more things. My gameplay style is very sporadic. I'll start one thing and then move on to another section of the park before returning to the um, other section. And then I did cut out a part of the video here where you just saw the maintenance depot spawn in. At one point, you can kind of see it off in the corner. I started working on a Ranger Depot, and I really just did not like that design that it was coming out. So I just ended up removing that section of the build, and during that section was when I put in some of this foliage. Like I said, my building is very sporadic. I'll start one thing and then move on to another midway through, but that's just kind of my play style. Everyone has their own, and that one's mine. At this section, I also realized the ground flattening has like different decals on it depending on which ones you use. Like the edge ones has that little dirt line on it. So I went back and I started making sure I used that on the sides only. And then I was looking through the decals here, trying to find like staff ones for all this, putting in the din sign, and then looking for more like storage and things, and then just messing around with what other decals and props look nice. Before moving over here, I started. Oh yeah, you can see the old building I just got rid of. I used this hatchery. I will have it linked in the description of the video if you want to go and download it for your own parks. It's a really beautiful hatchery. I love that brick aesthetic on it, and I want to get better at building because I would love to myself use that brick kind of style of builds. And then here I'm just continuing the pathway, flattening out some things, and then editing the concrete in front of the hatchery, making it kind of some stairs. Now the pathway is there, making sure everything is operational, but like you can't walk up it unless it's very flat in a way, which is kind of annoying. We don't have pre-built stairs to my knowledge. I might have to look again to see if there's something I'm missing, but as of now, I'm kind of happy how this pathway turned out. I didn't want to remove these planters because I like them a lot and they came with the original build, so I kept trying to just throw them around, seeing where they fit best. Um, and then yeah, here I'm just working on the ground some more, just messing with things. Eventually in the build, I'm gonna throw some more plants around. I'm a little skeptic to see how much foliage I should put in this section of the park, since I know Montana does have some grass, but there's maybe not like a lot of foliage. So I'll leave maybe just this section to have the little wooded parts, and then the rest of it just to be open and barren to kind of give that, deserty safari-like vibe. And then here I'm just looking through more props to see the what I could use, like the trucks and the containers. I know there are more container. I know there are more containers. I'm just blanking on where they are. I spent a minute trying to find them. They're probably right in front of me since I can miss things that are right in front of me sometimes. But then I noticed that there's these rustic animal containers that would be really cool to use in a build, like kind of this container fell overboard and it rusted under the sea or something, or it was out for so long after a animal broke free and it just rusted away. So it'd be cool to use that at some point in the park. And then here I used a viewing gallery, not a viewing gallery. Here I used a response depot, and then you see me flattening out, which seemingly did not work. So I have to come back and flatten out some more, which is not the biggest deal. And then I'm just seeing if that did actually fit. So I forgot how big it was, and now I'm just looking at which species to use in the park. I ended up going with Troodon because Troodon is found in Montana. I'm gonna do some research on Troodon because I know it's one of those animals that is not a valid genus. So I just did some real quick research. I don't think Troodon is valid again. For those who don't know, Troodon was discovered and then labeled a species just off a singular tooth, and it's always been in this kind of on and off again relationship of being valid. Think of Spinosaurus, where every single paper that comes out has a different Spino design for it. Troodon is like that, but every time a new paper comes out, it's people arguing for its existence and people not arguing for its existence. So, with that being said, I think currently it is not a valid animal, but I could be wrong. That's just from my quick research. And then here I'm just trying to see, like, is there any other animal that I could fit in this paddock? I could, and it could just be compies, but compies are so small, and I didn't want to put little compies in this enclosure because it felt way too big for them, and this enclosure is probably too small for Troodon. But I really wanted to use them in this little opening section since they are found in this state. So I did end up going with them. And then here I'm just building a little shelter for the Troodons in case of environmental issues or they just want a place to rest. I think it's an okay shelter. So maybe not the best shelter that's ever been built. I'm still getting better at building, but I think it's okay for now. And I just threw an extra plant in there before bringing in the Troodons back for the enclosure that they are meant to be in. And then I think that is all I did. We was just throw in the Troodons and then called it for this episode. Ironically, this episode is like 5 hours of me playing, and that runtime is like the entirety of the voiceover at the end. Because the last part of the park tour is like 12 minutes, and so is this recording. This episode, I wanted to get done some new additions to the park, which I did. I started building this rock wall. I originally planned this episode to build a paddock here, but that plan didn't come to fruition. Instead, I was halfway through building and I realized I don't have a way to really get dinosaurs in this park. I don't have a functional hatchery. So I instead pivoted my build to over here, and I'll get to that in a second. Um, Over here, when you come this way, of course you have the fossil zone that I built last episode. And then over here we have the Troodon. I didn't know what to say. It's literally right in front of me. This is my Troodon enclosure. Now there may be too many Troodons in there, but I didn't want anything too big. And Troodon is actually a dinosaur that has been found in Montana. I can't remember if Troodon has been confirmed once more to be a valid genome. I know it's constantly going up in the air of valid or non-valid. But I think as of currently, I could be wrong, I think it is a valid genome. I think I'm using the word genome right. But like species, I think it's currently a valid species. I did also put in that little Troodon little hut over here. So like in case a storm or something comes, or like it gets nighttime and they're tired, they can just go under that little tarp there and be in their enclosure. But moving on to over here, I just put in this blueprint of this in welcome section. And I put in this herbivore viewing gallery sign because when you come up here under the beautiful rock arch, when you come up this way, I built this viewing gallery. It's maybe not the best viewing gallery, but I'm pretty proud of it for what it is. I need to come back. I totally forgot. But I gotta put in some more foliage. So I'll definitely be doing that. I gotta fix that tree. But, you know, entering the viewing gallery. Not the best view currently. But, you know, it functions for the game, so. NPCs have a good view. They got a good view. Up here, can't really. Yeah, you can't get up here. But, let me see if I can place. Nah, it's obstructed. What this is meant to be is a viewing, not viewing. Well, I guess it could be, because you can look down. It was just meant to be a nice little plaza. You can sit up here and maybe like bring your food and have a nice picnic and look over the uh welcome sign. There's like not the best view because you just see like the you just see the building, but you can also see the fossil zone and some of the skeletons. So like, you know, it's an okay view, but you also got this nice beautiful T-Rex statue. And since T-Rex also has been found in Montana, I'm planning to put in a T-Rex paddock at some point. But for right now, I really am proud of this little build here. I gotta put in a pathway to make it actually look functional. So, you know what, I'll do that right now. Something like that. And I don't know if I fully like it, but you know, I just want something kind of like this. And then over here, when I realized I don't have an actual hatchery, I thought about just placing the hatchery and coming back to do this one later. But since, you know, we kind of need these 4 buildings to really get things going in the park, I thought it might be a good idea to actually put in some of these buildings. So, if you come over here, you know, just coming down this pathway, you can see the bus depot building with the park maintenance facility. I left this open so the vehicles can just drive through here and get to where they need to be. I don't see the big deal, but like, you know, maybe people aren't going to be that happy seeing the maintenance facility. But this isn't meant to be like the most up-to-date park with everything neatly tucked away in places. There's going to be a bit of like exposed facilities, I feel like. But this is just a regular blueprint maintenance building. This one, I forget who made it. This is a very nice Ranger, not Ranger, yeah, Ranger Depot. I gotta do some terraforming now that I see that. Totally forgot. That, I'm going to be using. I wanted something a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess not compacted. Just something kind of smaller. Um, and like that build took me a while to do. And I did build a whole nother building and I just hated it. And I thought like, I don't really dislike the idea of using blueprints. That's why we have them. So people could use them in their parks. And I'm always going to put the code for these buildings in my video descriptions. So you can always go down to the description and find them and use them in your parks, which I really recommend. This is a beautiful, beautiful building. You got your little rangers here. You got the capture team in the back ready to go out. And then this is a not only a ranger center with the response team, but it's also a staff center. So you can have your staff in here. And then right here is the hatchery. For this hatchery, I wanted something. Oh, kick you at the step. Ugh, I can't get it up. Whatever. It's fine. For this hatchery, I liked this building a lot when I saw this in the little recommended view. I really wanted to use it. So I'll put this link in the description as well, or the code, so you can use it. I just think it fits the vibe really well of brick and just kind of old-fashioned looking in this little like old Texican uh, style builds. Um, and then I know this isn't like in the same style, but I kind of just really like this part of this building. So I could have kept it, but no, I could have kept it and removed this building. But I really like this build altogether for the blueprint. Looking around here, I put a fence in this back, just, for safety. And I put some just maintenance things. You got the forklift, you got the crane, and the truck for maintenance. Just some animal cages. This is the Atrociraptor cage, which is, like, I believe this is the cage that the Atrociraptors came out of in Dominion. It looks very similar, but it's just way too small. Now that I think about it, wasn't there 4 cages? I could be wrong. There definitely might have been 4 cages. Even though, like, with this 4 cages, this is super small. I would expect bigger. This is the cage from the first Jurassic Park, though, with the Velociraptor. And then these are just holding cages from JP2, and I think they were used again in Fallen Kingdom. I just put an extra bus here in the bus like depot, like it's getting maintenance done or something. Just some facility boxes and more just stuff scattered around. I updated the tree line a little bit over here. I think it looks really nice, honestly. I also put in a few decals. I'll probably have to go around more and put some more decals in. And I can't remember. I believe I did this episode. I'm filming this like this half of the episode like a couple days after, but I got busy with school. But I put in, when you come up here, just some nice banners leading up to the front. I added this picnic area with just some seats and, you know, umbrellas, and some trash cans. I think it looks very nice. And then over here, I'll put this link in the description. Someone made this lovely turnstile. And I put in these little windows so you could, in theory, get your tickets. Is this the, best kind of like, people walk up and then just run up to the booth? No, you would in practice have like guardrails to make a line. But it's a game. No one's going to use this. Now that I think about it, I should make sure collision is off on these. Okay, yeah, I got make sure that's got no collision. I don't want, all my guests to show up and have nowhere to go. That would be really bad. So let me just do this real quick. Okay, with that being done, um, yeah, I think everything in this park is starting to come together. I think everything looks pretty nice. I get the Troodons just being a Troodon self. I hope Frontier does add a skin. Actually, I haven't even checked. I probably should have checked. Oh, synthesize. Where is Troodon? Oh, am I blanking on Troodon? Let me do carnivore. And then I'll search spawn. Yeah, Troodon. It was right in front of me. Yeah, they don't have it. I hope they, at some point in the future, potentially, I hope they do add it where it's the Jurassic Park the game Troodon skin. Because those Troodons are just horrifying. With their beady little eyes and just features. These ones are also, I don't want to mess with them. They're pretty big. But like those Jurassic Park the game Troodons, that would be a great skin for these guys. Like I know the Evolution 2, I think had a mod for that. I should check Nexus, maybe someone had a mod for this one. But that would be a great skin. Um, yeah, I think that is all. I'm pretty proud of this edition. My build style is pretty sporadic. I'll start one thing, and then I'll jump to the next, go back to that, and then jump over here and start building things all around. So like I'm pretty sporadic on my builds. For the next one, though, now that we got the hatchery, I think I might do either this into a paddock or I'll work on this one finally. But I did find a nice blueprint I want to use that had 3 of the facilities with a tour ride attached to it. So I think I might use that. Um, and yeah, I think that's all for now. So thank you for joining another episode of Jurassic World Evolution, and I will see you in the next one.